All right, happy 4th of July. We're going to get this little top 10 list kicked off. The way we get out of the garage, just so you know, is this nice little button here. You hit the home link. We're going to pull out of the garage. I've got my kid with me. She likes to have the car in motion. So we're going to get going. We got the sunroof open. I apologize for the white balance while the car pulls out in the sun here. And if you can see, we're going to hit the home link button again. And that's going to shut the garage behind us. Okay, so once again, happy 4th of July. It's a beautiful 87-degree morning at 9 o'clock in the morning in Florida, but it's still decent enough to drive with the sunroof open. What I want to talk about was the top 10 reasons top 10 things, you need to know about before you buy a Tesla. My channel's doing pretty well. I've got about 240 videos, and I've got almost 1,100 subscribers. The first thing I wanted to go over in this 10 list was supercharging. That's what I get a lot of questions about, supercharging. And, can your car supercharge? Can you drive cross country? And the answer is yes. Although I will say a older Tesla like I recommend people buy is obviously going to supercharge much slower, only at 100 kilowatts. So it can take, 30 minutes to an hour to fully charge, whereas the new cars can do it in 15 to 25 minutes probably. And I'll touch base on some other supercharging stuff later. Secondly is the tires. Teslas are heavy because of the batteries. They're heavy cars and they have a lot of torque at 0 RPM. So what that means is it basically eats the tires up pretty quick. Okay, continuing on, we're going to go to MCU. MCU is the processor of a Tesla. Basically, it's the entire brain of the car. Now, what I did was, my car is a 2013. It didn't have Netflix, didn't have Hulu, any of the cool stuff. It had MCU1, and the driver's screen was delaminating. The LCD was kind of delaminating. So what I did was I gave Tesla a call, said, hey, I need a new driver's screen. They said $800. I said, wow. They said, but for $1,500, we'll give you a new 17-inch screen. We'll give you a new driver's screen, a new brain processor, MCU, a new 4G LTE card, and a Bluetooth module, all for $1,500 installed. And I was like, sign me up, please. The MCU also helps the car start up faster. It gives you all the new, cool, latest technology, which is really nice. Now, after MCU, let's talk about charging. When you get a Tesla, obviously you're going to need a home charger. I don't recommend you just solely depend on the supercharging network. Charging at home is so much cheaper. It's better for the battery because it does charge at a 240 volt rate. You can get a Tesla charger now for about $300, which is a really good deal. Back in the old days, they were $800, or $1,000 even. But now that you get them down to $300 for a Tesla branded charger. Now you can get obviously cheaper knockoff Chinese chargers, but I highly recommend you get a name brand charger. Even chargers like Juicebox or some of the other Korean made chargers are great. Like I said, $300. You put a NEMA 1450 adapter in your garage, and you can just plug it in. You can take it with you. NEMA 1450 is a great plug to put in your garage that will give you a lot of different capabilities. Now, after that, number 5, we're going to talk about maintenance. Maintenance is a big thing with all cars. This car has the original battery. It's a 2013 with original battery. The second drive motor, the drive motor was replaced after about a year and a half. They found some issues with the original drive motor, so now this one has the what they call the second generation drive motor, but it is almost I think an 8-year-old drive motor, which is pretty incredible. But when you buy a Tesla, you should set aside some money for maintenance if you're getting an out of warranty Tesla. This car's out of warranty. It had an 8-year unlimited mile warranty, and this car is 2013. It's now 2022, so we're out of the warranty. Now, some of the maintenance items on a Tesla, like you don't really have, alternators or spark plugs or any of that garbage, but you do have kind of silly things like the Model S has door handles that fail. They used to be expensive. Now they're about $300 per door handle to fix because they're the auto presenting door handles. Some other maintenance things I've done are the suspension arms. At 100,000 miles, the suspension arms tend to go. They are a pressed bushing type suspension arm, and it's about $1,000 for my front suspension arms. And the only thing that happened is they started to creak, and they said the only way to stop that creaking was to replace the suspension arms. Now, tying into number 5 is my number 6, which is finding somebody to do the work on your car. If you want to keep going to Tesla, that's fine. There's no problems with that. It just tends to get a little pricey. I am very blessed that 25 miles from our house is an electrified garage. There are several aftermarket places that can repair Teslas. Electrified Garage is a big one. Gruber Motors is another one. And I highly recommend that you find somebody who can service your Tesla for you. If you're 500 miles from a Tesla service center and there's no other service places around you, it's something you might want to think about, because you definitely do need to get them serviced occasionally. Number 7, when you get a new Tesla, is ownership transfer. This is a big deal because without the app running, it's very hard to get things done in your Tesla without the app. You got to have the app, and the app has to be transferred over to you. So if you are in contact with the current owner, he can help transfer that app ownership over to you. What I did was, when I purchased mine from a car dealer, I had to basically submit it to Tesla, and it took 2 or 3 days to get the app to work. Now, the app, of course, can do everything like, unlock your doors, start the car, run the AC, all that cool stuff. And, of course, you also need the app for servicing. I actually had a friend who bought a Tesla. He did not get the app. He just, drove the car with the fob, because the Model S has a fob. And what happened was he had to get service done, but the only way to put in service really is with the app. So he had to get the app pretty quick once he found that out. So definitely, as soon as you get the car, get that app transferred into your name. And you also want to transfer all the data and everything else. Now, remember, any Tesla older than 2017, as long as it hasn't been traded in through a Tesla center, will have the free supercharging for life and the free data streaming for life. But that really is only if you buy it through private parties or a dealer or something like that. If it goes back to Tesla as a trade-in, Tesla will strip out the free supercharging and the free data, which is kind of annoying, I think. I kind of think it's kind of petty. But, that's just one more way that Tesla can increase their revenue. Okay, going into number 8 is something that a Tesla owner actually drove my car, and he said, "Why do you have this?" And I'll show you. He said, "Why do you have this in your car? Why do you have an Xbox controller in your car?" Well, with the new MCU2, Teslas have tons and tons of games. So you can play all these games, which I'm driving very slow in my neighborhood, so I'm not out on the road, guys. Actually, I'll put it in park real quick. And if I go to arcade, you have all these games here. So you can see you have all these games, and they all a lot of them do use a controller, which is great. Okay, one other thing I wanted to go over was the tail lights. In the Model S, there tends to be rain kind of somehow gets in these tail lights. They're not sealed. So, I mean, these are original tail lights, but you can see some of the LEDs are failing here. So, yeah, watch out for that. Now, the cool thing is you can get these on eBay for just a few $100s, and you can replace them yourself. They're not really that hard to do. How when you buy a Tesla older than 2017, you get free supercharging for life as long as it did not go back to Tesla. We talked about tires, which we definitely know these Pirelli P0s get eaten up with all this torque. We talked about MCU2, which is the wonderful new processor. We talked about charging and getting a NEMA 1450 installed in your garage. We talked about maintenance, setting aside money for maintenance. And we also talked about finding a electrified garage or Gruber Motors. Otherwise, you'd have to take it to Tesla. Then we talked about the ownership transfer, getting the app put in your name. And then we talked about the Xbox controller, which enables you to play all these really cool games. And the battery. This is the original 9-year-old battery in this car. A lot of Teslas are running the original battery. Some have 400, 500,000 miles on the battery. And then where to buy. Try to buy it away from Tesla so you can get that free supercharging, which would be private party or dealers. Thank you for watching my top 10 list. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer every single question you guys have about Teslas.